Morning, everybody. I'm super excited to welcome Mahdi Menous, Senior Director of Digital Commerce Strategy and Operations at GE Healthcare. Mahdi, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Not sure where you are, but thank you so much, Sugata, for having me today. Really excited about looking forward to the conversation I'm going to have with you today.
Excellent. You're at the forefront of taking care of people because without the technology that GE Healthcare provides, our doctors, our nurses, the entire healthcare system wouldn't function the way they do. So first of all, thank you for doing what you do. It's a very, very important role. But most importantly, you have an amazing channel or partner network that you have built over the years. So we'll talk about GE Healthcare. We'll talk about your partner network. We'll talk about your journey. But before we get going, I would love to have you introduce yourself for our audience, Mahdi, for a little bit about who Mahdi Menous is and who GE Healthcare is.
Yeah, we'll try to summarize this and do my best in the next couple of minutes. My journey with GE Healthcare, and by the way, thank you for the nice word, but we have people, building machines and manufacturing machines, and they do an awesome job there. I think they have more meaningful, I would say, job than I do, even if we are trying to support our different teams throughout the technologies that we provide. My journey began with GE Healthcare 14 years ago as sales specialist. I learned immediately the importance of customer needs and how urgent it is to deliver to these kind of customers. Through this experience, I moved quickly to sales manager roles in Africa and in EMEA region. After moving to the US 7 years ago, I was working as a global service marketing, leveraging or working on strategic initiatives for our healthcare partners and customers around the world, with the focus in US and China at the time. Recently, a little bit less than 3 years ago, moved to IT, which is kind of maybe a strange move for some people, but moved to IT as a senior director and part of the customer experience team, trying to leverage the experience and the background I have from the field and translate this to our IT teams on how important also is to continue to improve the customer experience and get access to the information as fast as possible. Support also our clinics, hospitals, and channel partners into having a better or streamline their processes, the way they get access also to the information, to trainings, and connect their systems to our systems as well to create the real partnership in this healthcare and industry. If I want to talk about GE Healthcare, I'm biased. I love this company. I grew in this company. And really it's our three main goals is precision innovation. Not only at the technical level, but really helping doctors in hospitals and clinic to be more precise when they do their diagnosis. The other thing is how we can accelerate growth. And here I'm not talking only about business, but even growing people and making sure we have the right local resources supporting our customers around the world. And because at the end, to your point, we are doing this for patients. And even when I feel sometimes, to be honest, demotivated, and we have some kind of bad days, when you think about the work we do every day, and unfortunately, we all had in our families and in our friends, people who got impacted, or they had to deal with doctors, they had to deal with exams, they had to deal with really bad diseases. And the first thing that comes in mind is, I hope it's going to be okay. And when you think that you can be part of this journey of it's going to be okay, and maybe improve the experience of the patient, this is also what motivates, I believe, most of GE Healthcare employees, all of GE Healthcare employees, actually. The last thing is about optimization, how we can optimize as much as we can. And when we think about our channel partners, they help us to optimize a lot. But also we try to help them optimizing, their processes and maybe benefit from this global experience and how we can maybe move from this global mindset into local expertise using also our channel partners.
From a structure perspective, Mahdi, one thing I can relate to all of those three things that you just said, your approach, which is precision, innovation, and optimization. By working with you for the last several years, as you said, we have our own set of challenges to making things work because you have a very, broad, large, complex partner ecosystems. But most importantly, the approach that you and your team always have taken, I think it comes across to those three words that you just talked about, is that there's a passion for continuous learning. There's a huge amount of empathy because we know we're working on complex problem together. So talk to us a little bit about your partner network. How does your partner ecosystem look like on a worldwide basis? Because what you're doing is very, very important, but it's also very, very hard.
Yeah, you know that GE Healthcare spun off from GE now since January 2023. And with GE before and with GE Healthcare right now, we try to be everywhere. We are a true global company. However, we know that we cannot be everywhere without our channel partners, without this network of partners. And the meaning of partners in this domain or in this kind of healthcare industry means a lot. It's important that those partners, they have the right tools, the right people, and the right processes to be implemented. And we try kind of work around those three themes, like processes, people, and platforms. And let me start with processes. We're gonna need in the near future to really understand that we cannot fix everything with technology. We absolutely need to make sure we start with the process, making sure we have alignment across the board, across different countries that we need. I'm talking here about GE Healthcare. Bring more standardization. We know that there are differences and we need to adapt. We need to be flexible. But how we can standardize our processes that our channel partner, it's going to be easier for them to work with global companies like ours. That's the first thing. We are doing great progress there, by the way. The second thing is the people. Today, channel partner is not just, a side business in GE Healthcare. We have dedicated teams. And I'm saying teams, not only one team. We have teams in the business dedicated to channel partners, but we do have also teams in IT focused in channel partners. I have a team reporting to me dedicated to channel partners to improve the way they serve our customers, hospitals and clinics in their countries, regions, zones, etc., as well as making sure they are well trained, they get access to the documentation. And we need to kind of distinguish between the direct and the indirect. And let me explain. The direct is like when we have the direct relationship with our direct customers, like hospitals and clinics. And the indirect is where we go through our channel partners in particular country or zone. And they are the mirror of GE. Means it's important for them that they have the right knowledge and the right technology to serve those customers. I was talking about technology, and this is kind of the third part, which is like platforms. We have invested and we continue to invest in technology platforms that will help us really streamline the collaboration that we are building with our channel partners. It's important that they are integrated to our systems. We cannot have two different, platforms not talking to each other. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. It's important that not only we integrate, but we simplify as much as possible. Us as big companies, we have also sometimes too many platforms. We're gonna need to simplify this. But while we are doing this, we should not let our channel partner aside and then, hey, deal with it. You have your own channel partner system or CRM. We're gonna need just to continue to work manually. We absolutely need to kind of simplify from our end, integrate those technologies that they use and help them standardize their processes with our processes using the people dedicated to this mission.
So that makes a lot of sense. So Mahdi, let's go to sort of the structure of your ecosystem. Can you please talk to a little bit about, what type of partners, what kind of activities they do, what are the sort of the, high level programs you have, just to get our audience a sense of what does GE Healthcare partner ecosystem look like?
Before I get there, I would like to also tackle kind of the phases of or the life cycle of the channel partner ecosystem. The first most important pillar is how we onboard our channel partners. You understand, I think you know that how regulated is this industry and this business. We absolutely need to have the right tools, processes, and people to onboard our channel partners. We need absolutely to comply with the international regulation as well as the local regulation when it comes to finding the right channel partner in a specific country, in a specific region. The second phase is how we develop them, how we can help our channel partners to get access to the information, to get the right setup when it comes to kind of quoting, ordering, servicing our customers, as well as training their teams. The third one is how we can grow them and accelerate this growth. Once they are on board and we kind of put all the things together and have the right setup, how we can now grow them as fast as possible. And then the last one, which is the fourth one, is how we can be loyal to each other. We have channel partners today that maybe we onboarded like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. When you look at them, you don't look at them as channel partners. You look at them as GE Healthcare, kind of a small child of GE Healthcare. Kind of, they have the same processes. They help really even giving us a better image locally with many of our customers. Some of the, I mentioned those three phases: onboarding, develop, grow, and then loyalty. For onboarding, the first thing that we are doing, or the first program, is how we can onboard as fast as possible our channel partners. When there is a need in a particular region, in particular country, our biggest enemy is time. Because where we are working in an environment when we serve doctors, hospitals, clinics, and those guys, they serve patients. And we need to act quickly in order to be able to set up an organization that could help us to perform all the different activities that we need to do in that particular country or zone. Then we are trying to kind of leverage the technology we have and partner with vendors in order to streamline this process of onboarding from legal compliance and other things. For developing as well, we have trying to build kind of an ecosystem and give our channel partner access to the right documentation, to the trainings, to the marketing content, and then also integrate their systems, like I mentioned, to our systems for a proper order management, I would say, process. These are kind of the two main things that we are really focusing on right now. We are trying to diversify also, to be honest, like our growth. We used to focus on most probably big equipment because that was the need. But we know also now that we're going to need to be more agile when it comes to SaaS. We're going to need to introduce AI more and more. And we are doing this today, right now, in some of our projects. We're going to need to also work on customer feedback. Getting feedback from our users is something that should happen more often. We are doing it a lot. Insights, we have some systems that help us, and we have teams dedicated. They talk to doctors, they talk to hospitals, they talk to channel partners, they talk to, even the competition, making sure that we have enough feedback to either accelerate, pivot, or maybe take a pause and see, what we can do next. But today it has to be automated. All the vendors that we're gonna partner with, they're gonna need to help us to doing that. They're gonna need to help us understand the journey of our customers. Today we have different journeys according to if you are a service customer, if you are an equipment customer, and I can explain those. If you are like a PDX customer, I can also explain what is it. Is depending on the customer journey, we need to have the right partners and the right tools to take us to the level where we want to be, which is being precise, efficient, and accelerate growth. These are kind of the three main objectives. I said that at the beginning, and I will keep saying it most probably today, maybe 2 or 3 more times. But it's important for our vendors to understand and our partners to understand that we need technologies that will help us to get into more agile environment where we use customer feedback as our kind of true north.
So coming back, that's a great way of summarizing your objectives, how you're trying to work with partners, help them. Can you tell us a little bit about what does your partner ecosystem look like? You have equipment provider, you have, of course, designers and engineering firms, you have service providers. What is the composition of your partner network?
It's mainly between, I take two big pillars. Our channel partner is either three big pillars, maybe. Our channel partners, either they act on equipment, like sell equipment on our behalf, or sell services on our behalf, means like, and service our customers, like do preventive maintenance, corrective maintenance, making sure, the equipment are up to date, etc. And there is a third one, which is they do both equipment and services. And these are kind of the biggest channel partners that we have today. When it comes to equipment, mostly our channel partners, they can sell all GE healthcare portfolio. And they are, and usually we have one channel partner by country or by zone sometimes. And they have to kind of make sure they understand their market. And this is part of the onboarding process as well, by the way. And have a sales force that, help to customers understand the benefits of our equipment, negotiate when they need negotiation, etc. Then these are kind of the three main kind of categories, I would say, of channel partners. The ones that they sell equipment, the ones that they sell services or service our customers, and the ones that they do both equipment and services. And depending on which category you are, you get access to different documentation, different information, and different tools as well. Not sure if I answered your question, but this is kind of the three main, I would say, categories when it comes to channel partners.
Yes, you did. So going to that sort of, three groups of partners: equipment provider, service provider, and the ones that we do both. And then you put a global context. The developed countries have very advanced healthcare. The emerging economies, they are putting infrastructure in place. They have, in the countries like China, it's almost developed. But if you look at countries like Brazil, India, parts of Africa, they have emerging infrastructure. I'm sure you also have emerging group of partners. So how do you serve this diverse nature of partner base under this regulatory framework that you have? And how does automation play a role in providing personalized onboarding, personalized journey, as you just talked about? Those are very important pieces of the puzzle as you move from advanced economies to emerging economies.
When we think about healthcare, yes, we think about like the difference between the economies. But the first thing that comes in mind is how we can serve better patients at the end. And if you want to do this, you should provide the best tools possible to your partners. Because even if maybe the country economy is not at the level of some other modern economies, but I can tell you that our partners, at least the ones that we work with, they are really futuristic. They think about like how we can move the needle even like faster, how we can grow our knowledge, our local knowledge, and to be even at the level of other mature markets, but even how we can, go beyond that. And the combination of companies like GE Healthcare being global with all the exposure that we have, and having partners locally with the local expertise, as well as they have also a global mindset, I think it helps to build a relationship that will serve at the end our customers. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Is like we should not underestimate, I would say, the level of expertise and exposure of the channel partners we have in those markets that you are mentioning. The second thing is we're trying to adapt. Okay, not sure who said that, but perseverance is not a long race. Is many short races, one after the other. We're gonna win some, we're gonna lose some, but it's important that when we lose, we understand, why we lost, what is the lesson learned, and how we can, take this lesson and then do better next time. Because at the end, we have all one goal, which is serving better our customers, using the best technologies we have and integrate the technologies together in order to create this ecosystem. Why I said that? Because yes, maybe the pace or the race that we are having in India is not the race that we are having in US, or the race that we're having in Africa is not the race that we're having in Europe. But I can tell you they're all important for us and would like to win them, not against the competition, but just against ourselves to be better as a company serving our customers and patients at the end. And we do this through automation, like you mentioned. First, as I mentioned, we start with processes. We need to understand what's the customer journey look like in that particular country. Can we first improve the process? Can we make it better? Can we simplify it a little bit? What is important? What is urgent? What is, maybe not urgent and we can put aside? That's the first thing we do. The other thing we do is like we assess also the level of knowledge of our teams locally on the product, on services, etc., and see how we can build really a strong team that not only understand their market, because they are much better than us when it comes to understanding their markets, but understanding also the benefit that they can get from the documentation that we share with them, the processes that we're putting in place together, why it is more efficient to automate this process versus this process. And it's not always straightforward. You need to convince people in many cases. And then the third pillar is like do an assessment of all the tools they have. And some channel partners, full transparency, maybe they don't have tools. Then what kind of tools that we can put for them to help them grow faster and get access to the automation also faster. We use some order management tools. We use some EDI as well. Even if it's still an old technology, but EDI is still there. And we use EDI, for example, to exchange document with many of our partners and direct, indirect, and indirect. And we use also some new AI technologies that help us for order automation as well as communication with our channel partners.
So let's go to the last word that you just mentioned, AI. When you look about, when you kind of look forward from a GE products perspective, I'd love to kind of hear from your side is that how you see you've already made some great announcements on inclusion of AI into your own product portfolio. So that's one side. And then when it comes to serving your partners, you talked about understanding the customer journey, mapping the customer journey, make it, take world-class healthcare, making it available at a local level. So treat the partners at the highest skill level because they want to get there. What sort of tools from a generative AI or AI perspective that you're seeing on that side? So two buckets. One is for your own portfolio, and second is enabling the partners with Gen AI.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the announcement of Pete Arduini, our CEO, recently about the AI initiative lab, and it's gonna help tremendously many of our radiologists and doctors to get access to the information and consolidate the information faster. But when it comes to IT, we're using AI already in many of our processes, and mainly to streamline our operation, to be honest, internally. And we, for example, moved when it comes to order management from hours or even days in some cases to kind of place an order when it comes from customer by email, let's say, and then put it in our backend systems. But now it's done in a couple seconds using AI. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited because we are just at the beginning. I'm really excited because I saw already some the impact that it could provide. I'm really excited because it's gonna, at least I see from them, I'm not that old, but I see the new generation coming, talking about it on daily basis and really thinking about how we can make things more efficient. And this is why I'm excited about AI. The strategy of GE is how we can now take the experiences we have in the different departments of GE Healthcare, for direct, for indirect, with our channel partners, etc., and bring all those ideas together. And can we partner with maybe one or two, I don't know, vendor out there who could help us to take the AI strategy to the next level? Same, I'm coming back to the standardization. I think we need to be first understanding what we can simplify from process perspective before we can implement the tool. I'm not a believer of a tool will fix a process. I'm a believer of let's fix a process, understand, to your point, the customer journey, for example, and how we can simplify it before, implementing AI, and have this agile mindset when we fail fast, and then, maybe learn from it and then move on. The concept of AI within G healthcare is already there. We are trying to implement it in both like the medical side as well as the operation side. And with our channel partners, they are asking for it. We are not even pushing for it. Means like saying, hey, where we can maybe use AI, how we can, simplify, optimize, leveraging AI. We have some partners where we're gonna use more and more AI driven analytics, for example, to help them take better decisions. Today, we know from business perspective that most probably we are missing opportunities as we focus only on some big deals in some countries. How we can make sure also we leverage AI driven analytics and data to take not only faster decisions, but smarter decisions. And when it comes to what we call flow product, like really small equipment that we sell as well. And we know that we have a lot of competition out there, but also being more data driven using AI will help our channel partners to maybe hire differently their teams, train differently, and open their eyes on some other opportunities they maybe didn't see.
So that's great, Mahdi. So my question now, it's about you. Working with you and for you, as a partner, as a vendor, I've seen you have a very large team that's distributed around the clock. It seems like you're always on, you're always responsive, you're incredibly supportive, and knowing the interaction between you and your team, it goes as a coach, as a mentor, also as a manager, as a leader. Talk to me a little bit about day in the life of Mahdi Menous. Like how did you get here? How do you manage such a large distributed team? How do you get work-life balance? How does Mahdi happen on a 24/7, 365 days basis?
Yeah, talking about me, I'm an early bird. I wake up super early. And the main reason, to be honest, is also I have part of my team based in India. And we have many of our calls early in my morning based in Wisconsin. And I like, to be honest, like the 30 minutes when I wake up maybe at 5:30, the 30 minutes between, my wake up and then first call, having this moment for me. Usually, the kids are asleep and the family also are asleep, and taking this moment to reflect, to really try to digest, I would say, all the information maybe I had the past week, the past month, the past day, and try to do it like on daily basis. It helps me a lot. Then I have a really busy morning. Usually, I'm busy from like 6 to 1 p.m. It's like call after the other. I work from home mostly. I go to the office from time to time. I have pretty kind of quiet afternoons. It depends on the day, actually. But my afternoons, usually I manage. I go to the reports. I go to the slides that my team, prepare. I try to also educate myself as much as possible. I spend a lot of time after school with my daughter. She plays soccer. I'm fine of soccer. I coach her as well. This gives me a lot of joy, to be honest with you. A lot of joy because I'm doing this now since 4 years, and seeing like kids growing, improving, and getting to a level where I'm impressed. I played like soccer for many years, and I'm impressed by like how some kids can perform. It gives me also a lot of joy, a lot of motivation. Then usually, I come back home maybe around 6, and then get to work a little bit and have some night calls, either with India again or with China. But yeah, this is kind of a typical journey of mine in working at G. I was really fortunate, and I've been fortunate to work with diverse teams across the world, from India to Africa to Europe to US. And I get the inspiration of being who I am, I believe, from them, from all the people that I meet. To be honest, what made me maybe, if I can say so, or if I can use this word, successful, is really my team. I try to build trust with my team from day one. It's okay to do mistakes. It's okay to kind of try and take some risks. What it's not okay is, I would say, faking it. Hey, I'm working, but I'm not working. Building trust within teams. I think that was my biggest achievement, to be honest. As I continue to learn from them, and I hope also they can learn from me, I'm really hopeful that this will take us to the level where we gonna be not only stronger together, but we gonna deliver beyond customer expectations. And I know many of the leaders talk about trust, and they are right talking about it. But I see it, I tried it, and I succeed on it. And it's important that to build this kind of discussions and relationship with everyone in your team members, I'm talking about me here, it just makes things different. Today, when a team member will tell me like, hey, I'm going to take a day off, I don't ask why, to be honest with you. And I don't need to do that because we have built this kind of relationship where we trust each other, where we motivate each other as well. And I know if some one of them would like to take a day off, then it's needed. Full stop. Maybe the question I ask, hey, do you need me doing anything on your behalf, etc.? If yes, then we'll go into some details. If not, then that's it. It's just how I can say this. Working globally, I really learned how diverse perspectives can change the way you even deliver a project. And if you give the voice to everyone, literally everyone in the team, and this is sometimes I do some mistakes like anyone, but I always try to make sure that, the person who is silent in the call or in a meeting and don't talk, I always go to this person. And say like, hey, what do you think? And don't ask just maybe what do you think, but like, how you think we could, or how differently we could do things from your perspective. Ask a question where they can answer and not just say like, no, I'm good. It's really important also to give, as I mentioned, the voice to everyone. And this is how I get my motivation. I'm really excited about the future because of this diverse, discussions I have, because of this global exposure I have as well, even to channel partners. And we should be humble enough, even as a global company like GE Healthcare, to sit and listen sometimes to those channel partners, even if they are new to the business, because they know things that we might don't know. And obviously, we're going to know also things that they don't know. But we need also to take this time and be humble enough to just sit and listen sometimes to those partners, what they need, how they need it, why they need it, and not try to jump to the solution also immediately.
But Mahdi, that is amazing. It is inspiring. As you said, one of the core things we all need to do as leaders is to listen. I hope our audience listens to your reflection, your leadership style, the amazing work that GE Healthcare is doing, the very important role that you play. So thank you for being here. I'd love to have you back, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Sugata.